you guys want to talk about?
Let me talk to you.
Yeah!
Throwdown Nation. We are live. It is a Monday night. We are rolling on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter/X, Facebook, and Twitch. It is episode 213 of the Throwdown, the community on the interwebs where we celebrate the art and sport of professional wrestling with a strong focus on the indies. I'm your host, Matt, and today we are throwing down with a wrestler based in Texas who has become something of a fixture on the San Antonio scene. My friends, welcome with me, Primal Khiry Adams. How you doing tonight?
Hello, I'm doing good. Just to show off the shirt real quick. New merchandise.
Nice, nice. Love it. Love it. That is really cool.
Thank you. It took a while to get some merchandise, but
For those of you watching live, let me direct your attention to the ticker that's running on the bottom of the screen. That contains all or at least most of Khiry's social media accounts along with mine, so do us a favor if you aren't following or subscribed. Please take the time and go to each of the platforms and do so. It definitely helps both of us. And I must give you guys a warning. You probably notice I've got a different background than usual. I am not doing the show from my home base. I'm actually at my in-laws' house for a few days. And when I got over here and got everything set up, I discovered I've got a problem with the power adapter for my laptop. So I'm going strictly on battery power right now. So hopefully it'll last as long as it can, but we'll do our best to get through it. So we'll go ahead and get started with the first and the most obvious question, and that is, how long have you been wrestling?
As of March the 7th, it'll be 11 years.
So you've been doing it for a minute.
Yeah, a good while.
Nice, nice. So who actually trained you?
Well, that's where it gets kind of not weird, but I want to say there's like three.
Okay.
So it started with Victor Romero. That was his name. He wrestled
Okay.
under the name Southside. He was more of the like the talking and the character aspect, and the
Okay.
physical was Alfonso Garza. He wrestles as Jesse Garza. And then when I trained with them for a few months, I eventually moved on to someone called Ben Bones. That's how he wrestles as. And he
Okay.
also helped me with more character and also physical. So those were the big three that got me started.
Gotcha. And I know that that now you've got some affiliation with Caius, because man, I love that guy to death, and he has definitely been a friend of the show and has recommended a lot of folks to reach out to. So I am forever in his debt.
Hey, same here. I mean, he gives us places to stay. Because, I mean, I don't live in San Antonio, but when I do a lot of my bookings, like let's say if I'm going to wrestle Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, whether it be San Antonio or Austin or stuff, he's always offered his place to stay. And I know he's done that with a bunch of people. So,
Gotcha. So whereabouts in Texas are you based out of?
right now, I'm in Laredo, Texas. I'm right on the border.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually born in San Angelo, out in West Texas, and
That's where I was born.
I lived in. You were born in San Angelo too?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, so I was born there, and I lived for my first 6 years actually in San Antonio. My dad was in the Air Force, and then he got out of the Air Force, and we moved to Florida, and lived there for about 7 years, and I've been in Atlanta ever since. So, I've been in Atlanta 40 something years now. So I guess if I'm from somewhere, I'm from Atlanta. But, so in the early stages of your training, what was the most challenging aspect of professional wrestling for you to kind of wrap your mind and body around?
I want to say being consistent when it comes to staying in shape.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
it was very tough in the beginning.
So, did you come to wrestling with a previous athletic or other type of martial arts background? Had you done sports? Had you done any other kind of combat sport prior to wrestling?
Yes, I mean in my younger years it was karate, and then it was mixed martial arts, and then somewhere through high school I started skating, and that helped me with cardio. I feel because I know there's a lot of people that come in, they're like, I used to skate, and their cardio is unmatched, like kind of like mine.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, I'm presuming because this has been the answer from the majority of people I've had on the show. I'm presuming you've been at least a fan of professional wrestling the majority of your life. Is that pretty accurate?
No, actually, I was
Really?
kept away from it. Yeah, at a young age, it was my parents, more my mom. She's like, "That's violent. Don't do that. You're gonna wrestle your brothers. Y'all are gonna get hurt." So in a way, I was kept away from it, and I found it freshman year high school is when I found it.
Gotcha. So, what was your first wrestling related memory?
Uh, I want to say it started with I had a friend that worked at Best Buy, and he would get discounts on video games, and every Friday it was a new game, and I was excited because I looked forward to playing games on the weekends. But one day he brought home WWE All Stars, and the rest is history.
Gotcha. So, what was the first live show that you attended as a fan?
It was a WWE SmackDown Live. Uh, like I said, when I found it in freshman year, there was an event, I want to say June,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad was super hyped about it. He's like, you know what? Do you want to go? I'll pay for you. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Nice, nice. So, obviously the physical side of this is all extremely important. So, tell us a bit about your gym routine and, in your mind, what are the most crucial exercise or group of exercises that you use to keep in ring shape?
And intense cardio, a lot of cardio, and weightlifting because I like to put other people first. And what I mean by that is like sometimes you have to catch someone or you have to carry them a certain way. And that's what I would say.
Gotcha. So, away from wrestling, what are some of your other hobbies and interests?
I mean, I love music. I love to draw. I mean, nothing insane like this, but I kind of drew a rough draft for it. And then I had a buddy of mine just do everything else. I love to collect action figures.
Wrestling action figures or all kinds of action figures?
I mean, it was growing up superheroes. It was like
Mm-hmm.
always superheroes, Star Wars. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
when I got into wrestling, it was wrestling.
Nice, nice. So, we're mostly a wrestling related show, but we dabble a little bit into pop culture here and there, and I'm always looking for recommendations. So, by any chance, are you watching or listening to anything really cool right now?
Uh, Listening, I know I'm listening to podcasts because I'm on a nonstop loop when it comes to work and wrestling. But I mean, I started listening to Murder in America. It's a
Mm-hmm.
podcast. It's a crime
True
podcast.
crime? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a true crime guy myself, man. But the last couple of years, I have been delving deep into this Idaho 4 case.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm not convinced that Brian Koberger's the guy, but
I've been looking into that one.
I know he confessed to avoid the death penalty and everything, but I'm not convinced he did it. But anyway, um, so outside of wrestling, what person inspires you the most and why?
Inspired me outside of wrestling.
Yeah.
I want to say my mom, really, because I mean, she's been put through a lot, but she still pushes on. And I think that's a good reflection of life itself, because we're always going to go through things, and that's someone who I've never seen give up. So,
That's beautiful. That's awesome.
thank you.
So, so what is your favorite thing about Laredo?
The food, like no doubt about it, the food. It could be a truck, it could be
Authentic
a big
Tex-Mex,
restaurant.
huh?
Yeah.
Nice. So, they say that the best wrestling personas are usually pretty much yourself, kind of turned up to 1,000. So, kind of tell us about in ring Khiry Adams and kind of compare and contrast him with everyday you.
They're pretty much the same, honestly. But it's just outside of wrestling, I'm more gentle, I'm more understanding. People often come to me to talk, but in the ring, I'm more rough and intense and fun going at the same time, if that makes any sense.
It does. It makes a lot of sense. Um, do you ever find your in ring persona bleeding over into everyday you?
Absolutely, whether it be the gym or at work, answering a simple question, just it's a promo. So,
Gotcha. Gotcha. So tell us about your very first match. What was it like? How did it go? What were your thoughts? Tell us about your very first in ring match.
so we're gonna go back to my trainer. He was my first match, Jesse Garza,
Okay.
and his big thing was we're never gonna do anything that we didn't practice in a match.
Okay.
But when the bell rang, just that idea was crumbled up and thrown out the window because he just came at me and gave me a. I think I went for a line, reversed it, and it was like a. It's like a German suplex kind of land, a butterfly suplex. That's what it was. And that
Nice.
reversed
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
dragon suplex.
the double underhook.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
had never taken that one before, so I wrestled with a mask at the time. And when I landed, I guess I landed too hard because at that point in time I spat up some blood.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the first move I ever took, and I remember it's gonna sound crazy, but my thought at the time was, this is something I want to do for as long
Nice.
as I can.
That's awesome. When you were wearing the mask, what were you called?
I was called Kenny Cannon.
Kenny Cannon.
Yeah.
Nice. So we've heard about the first one. Now, if you can narrow it down over the 11 years you've been doing this, what is your favorite match that you've been a part of?
I want to say we had a collaboration with Hooters,
Okay.
and I tagged with Gregory Iron, and it was against the Texas Kingdom, which was Johnny Montana and Rob Love.
Okay.
And with that, we literally wrestled outside of Hooters. So the ring was there next to a highway. So people were coming from everywhere, casual fans, not even wrestling fans, but they were into it. So when I come out as a character, I'm very engaging. I involve everyone. So the crowd just throughout the match was just getting hot, hot, hot. We duked it out, and then we went for the finish, and it was very explosive. It's on my Instagram, I believe. I'm going for a
Nice.
splash, and I'm just boom, boom, and all the kids, all the adults were on their feet. That's one of my favorite memories in matches.
That's awesome. So, do you have a preference yourself between working heel or babyface, or is it all just depending upon what the promotion or the match requires?
It's whatever the match requires, honestly. I know I had a hard time being a babyface for my first 5 to 6 years. And then all of a sudden, I took off the mask, and everyone was like, "Whoa! Like you're a different person. This is awesome. We like this." And so I always preferred heel, but when I made that jump of taking off the mask, they both just came easy to me.
Gotcha. So, you've been doing this long enough that I'm sure you've got a laundry list of these, but what is your biggest wrestling related pet peeve?
When shows don't start on time. That happens a lot down here. But I know the more up north I go, they're more prompt. But yeah, not starting on time.
Gotcha. So, if you could only be one, would you rather be great in the ring or great on the mic?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that has actually become one of my favorite questions that I've asked on the show because it's been almost a 50-50 split and everybody's got their reasons for answering one way or the other.
I mean, I would love to protect people all the time, right? But I guess with time going on and our bodies getting older and stuff, we're not going to be able to do the physical stuff. So, with that being said, I would say better on the mic so that you can keep the character going on even long after you've hung up the boots. That would be my answer.
Gotcha. So, again, you've been doing this long enough that I'm sure you've had some of these, but what has been your most unusual encounter with a fan?
I want to say we were in Tennessee. I don't know if
Okay.
it was Memphis or Dyersburg, but that fan base is very, I want to say they're very 80s.
Okay.
You can have the most simplest match ever, but they are into it the second you walk out and the second you get pinned or you pin someone and walk back through the curtain. And I give out these leis when I come out,
Okay.
like the Hawaiian flowers.
Yeah.
And that was my merchandise for a while with some pictures, like an 8x10s. And when I'm sitting there at the merch table, people would come up and ask for pictures, and it was never a problem to me. But one time, this older woman was like, "Can I get a picture, baby, please?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So she comes and she reaches a little too from behind my behind, right, a little too low,
Oh my
and we took the
goodness.
picture. And I was like, "Hey, what?" And I thought, okay, it's gonna end there. I was like, "Hey, don't do that. It's fine." But then her husband comes and he's like, "Hey, why are you talking to my girl?" And I was like, "She asked me for a picture. You were literally right there."
Yeah. Wow.
It was just so odd.
No doubt. No doubt.
But I would say that one. That's what comes to mind.
Gotcha. So, what is your all-time favorite match as a fan? Do you have a match that really is near and dear to your heart that you find yourself going back to time and again?
It's WrestleMania 28, Triple H versus The Undertaker, Hell in a Cell.
Oh yeah, nice. Good
I always go
choice.
back to that one. I always watch that WrestleMania. It was my first one. It was my first live one. Well, watching it live. I wasn't there, but watching it as it was going on. So it's very special to
Gotcha.
me.
Gotcha. I've mentioned this on the show. I have been blessed to be an older guy, and I've been a fan since I was around 11. So I've been a fan since the early 1980s. So I kind of grew up in the territory days, and I've gotten to see a lot of important events in modern wrestling history as they
That's
happened.
awesome.
I got to see the Monday Night Wars start to finish, the rise and fall of ECW. So it's been really cool to have been around and aware of wrestling for as long as I have. So
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yep, yep,
That's
yep.
like I think that's like the prime time wrestling.
It really has been, but I've got to say though, with the rise of the indies, right now is one of the coolest times to be a fan because there is so much content and good content out there that there's just
Absolutely.
not enough time in the week to ingest all of it
Yep,
because
yep.
yep. So kind of piggybacking on to the previous question, Do you have an all-time favorite promo as a fan?
A promo? Was it against Brock Lesnar? Eddie Guerrero?
Oh yeah, the I'm an addict.
Yes, that one
Yeah.
gets me every time.
I mean, you really couldn't go wrong with Eddie Guerrero anyway.
Never in any aspect.
But yeah, that's a great one. One of my favorites was one that Mick Foley did when he was in ECW. Um, there had been a situation where, at the time his son Dewey was like 6 or 7 years old, and somebody in the audience held up a sign that said Kane Dewey, and and it really bothered him, and he was expressing the legitimate emotion at the thought of seeing his little boy get caned. And I mean, it was a very real, very raw promo. So I mean, I always recommend, any wrestler who hasn't seen Mick Foley's Kane Dewey promo to go check it out, because I mean, it'll man, it's very real and very visceral.
Wow, yeah, I'll look that one up right after this for sure.
So and this can be past or present. Who would be a dream opponent for you? Who would you love to have the opportunity to share a ring with?
There's two that I have, like I'm on the fence about.
Okay.
It would be Triple H
Okay.
or Matt Riddle. Like those are like the ones that I always would want to share the ring with.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. I'm hoping that Matt Riddle hasn't completely shot his career at this point, because he's kind of gone off the deep end a little bit, and
Yeah.
I'm hoping he hasn't burned all the bridges to get back to someplace that.
Hey, but don't they say in wrestling, never say never? So
Well, that's true.
fingers
That's
crossed.
true. You just never know. But so, do you have when you're wrestling and you're working certain people over and over again, you develop chemistry with them, and there's some people that when you're working that person, magic's going to happen and it's going to be a banger. Do you have such a person that if you're working them, it's going to be special?
That's with Mr. Dill Dempsey and Jesse Garza. Every time we just lock up, it's just magic. I mean, he trained me, so I guess that can come
Yeah,
be the reason why.
absolutely. So, what is your favorite move? What is something you just really enjoy doing? And on the flip side of that, is there a move that you won't do or you would at least rather not do? And that can be giving or receiving.
I used to be uncomfortable taking the package pile driver, but I guess with more experience, I got comfortable with that one. So that was one that I would always be like, nah, let's not do that one. But as I got older and I got more trained, more experienced, I was like, yeah, let's try it out. And then now I'm aware as to what to do. And for move doing is power bomb. Like I love the classic power bomb. Just pick up, boom, power bomb.
Gotcha. So I'm not at my normal setup, like I said. So I'm actually just taking a look over at the Instagram chat for the first time, and man, it is active. We've got Caius is in the chat, and Jonathan Life's in the chat, and they're kind of going back and forth. Caius is saying Khiry Taquitos Adams,
He's being
and
rough.
and Caius asked me to ask you about the tag team match with him and Robert Gibson.
Oh my God. That was a time that Kaya slapped me silly. That's what that is.
Nice. So, you've been doing this long enough that I'm sure this applies to one degree or another. So I'll ask you what hurts right now.
Well, that's crazy because I was having problems with my knees for a good while. Because I don't know if you've seen in my videos, my one of my finishers is the top rope splash,
Hmm.
and even I'll tell people move, and I still take it. Like I'll eat it. So it was giving me problems for a good while. But I started rehabbing them. This is already like week 2, and I feel 25 again. So that was the only thing giving me problems, and I feel great right now.
Nice, nice. Jonathan Life wants to know why you chop him so hard.
I mean, it's there. He presents himself, and the size difference, man. I chop everybody the same. It's the size difference.
Gotcha. So, what is, over the years you've been doing this, what is the worst bump you have taken?
I want to say it wasn't a planned bump, right? But we had run this show out of San Antonio. It was called Chingazos. That's what it was called. And there was this pole next to the ring. And so I'm going toe to toe with Roxo. We're just going back and forth, back and forth. We spill to the outside. And then he hits me once. I bump on the floor. I was like, that hurt. But I fed right back up, forgetting the pole was there because poles are never there. And boom, right into the pole. I bumped again, hitting the back of my head. And I was like, oh man, why did I do that?
Yep. That's one of the instances where muscle memory is no good.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have never fed that way.
So, Jonathan Life commented that knee problems run in the team of Pineapple Pizza.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't know if you've spoken with Caius, but that was a rough patch for pineapple pizza.
Nice. So, this is kind of a hot take question. Obviously stuff happens with injuries and circumstances, but we're in the run up to WrestleMania. And as of last Monday, we've got this sudden pairing of Seth Rollins and Gunther in a match for Mania. And it's going to be a great match work rate wise. Both guys are they're going to tear the house down. But trying to make it make sense storyline wise is a bit of a struggle. Do you have any thoughts on how they can make this make sense storyline wise?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty weird when I saw the random pairing. I think it was last Raw that they introduced it, and we're so close to Mania.
Yeah.
I guess they would have to maybe tie in Punk for that one because they're both going to be gunning for that heavyweight championship. I guess the only way they could say is they can just kind of gloat and be like, "I was a better champion than you," but it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad they worked it out so both guys have a match. And like I said, the match itself is going to be amazing.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it's just at an unfortunate time where they kind of had to sort of last minute it, and I don't know. I'm hoping in the couple of weeks we've got left before Mania, I'm hoping they'll come up with something to give it a little more context.
Substance, yeah,
So.
yeah, for sure. I agree with that one.
So, what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool in wrestling, specifically indie wrestling?
I think it's a great way to, I guess, keep track as to what happened. Because I remember when I first got into wrestling, of course, I went into the indies. Like I started looking at, okay, what's around me? Is there anything local? And I would go to the shows, and obviously I wasn't there the last one. And people be talking about last time this is what happened, and I was like, what's the context to that? And then I would go over to Facebook, and Facebook would have videos and pictures, and I'd be like, oh, that's what happened. Like, oh, okay, cool. So I think it's a good way to not only promote but keep everybody in line when it comes to the story.
Gotcha. So, knowing everything you know at this point in your life, if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Eat better, eat clean. Don't be getting everything extra large and double, triple. It's you're not young forever, you know.
Gotcha. So, do you have any pre show traditions? Any things that you try to do consistently before you walk through the curtain?
Obviously, it's stretch. I know a lot of people do that, but I stretch to the point where I want to be as loose as possible so I can be a rubber band out there as best as I can. Um, I mean, I listen to a certain song every time when it's driving to the venue or if I had my headphones in.
What song?
It's the Disco Medley by Selena from her last concert.
Okay.
Because that being her last concert, I always think, because I mean tomorrow's not promised. We're not promised we're gonna come back after the match. So I always
Right.
feel that if I go in there just performing as best as I can, not knowing that it could be my last, I'm gonna put on a banger. So
Gotcha.
that's the reason as to why.
Gotcha. So, just kind of a quick rundown. Tell us about your gear bag. What all do you carry in your gear, and do you carry anything unique or unusual in your gear?
Well, in my gear bag, I have a lot of my armbands. I don't always have wrist tape. That's when Jonathan Life comes in handy because he's always in the same bookings with me. Um, I have styling gel to have my hair up so that it looks similar to this. Because right now, I mean, I just got out the shower. But unusual, I do have two action figures in there. They never leave my bag. It's a Triple H from the '90s, and then I have a Becky Lynch. That those were given to me by my friend Roxo, and he's like, "You better take them everywhere." And I was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna leave them in the bag," and that's exactly what I do with them. So everybody sees them and they're like, "You always bring those." I was like, "They never leave the bag, so of course they're gonna be here."
Nice, nice. So, again, you've been doing this for a while. So, but do you have a favorite venue to wrestle in? Is there a venue that's kind of near and dear to your heart, or are they all kind of the same to you?
No, none of them are the same, and it's crazy because we've wrestled in ballrooms, backyards, garages. But the one that's always special to me is the one in McAllen. It's called Cena Del Rey or El Rey. That one is just because we used to do it every Friday. Every Friday, I think Jonathan Life, if he's still here, he would always jump in the car with me, and it was always a bunch of people that every Friday we'd go put on a show, and that's when we would run our circuit. And then after Friday, we'd go our own separate ways. But that Friday, it was fun. It's a Friday night. We're putting on some matches. We're all together, and then we all go to our own bookings the next day. But it was just a weekly thing and up until COVID. COVID ended that.
Yeah. Yep. So, something that we've done in all of these that's just been kind of fun is we've let the current guest ask a question for the next guest. And my previous guest, actually, I noticed him in the chat room a few minutes ago on Instagram. A wrestler based in Stockton, California, by the name of Big Pusha Elliott Ray. And the question that he posed is, in your encounters in wrestling, who has your favorite gear? Who has the best gear?
The best gear. It's between Epidemis Jr. and Caius because they both have that seasonal gear. Like if it's Halloween, you know it's gonna be Halloween based. If it's Christmas, I know Caius has Christmas Caius, and he just looks like that little Debbie's snack. So it's between those two.
Nice, nice. So, since this is part of a series, do you have a question that you would like to ask the next guest? If you can't come up with something right now, you can always DM me later. So, don't feel like you're on the spot.
I don't know what I would ask. What's a dream title that you want to hold that you're within your means that you can hold that you've never held before? That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. How would you answer that?
I would love to, because we're so close to San Antonio. I would love to hold an RCW title, the River City Wrestling, one of their titles.
Nice. So, during his farewell tour, John Cena repeatedly brought up the concept of leaving wrestling better than he found it. And I just really dug that, and I feel like that's something to strive for in whatever you're doing. So I've kind of added this to my repertoire of questions. So, at the point whenever that is that you're done wrestling, how do you hope to leave professional wrestling better than you found it?
I hope to bring back the enthusiasm, that energy again, because I know it dipped for a while. Everybody wanted to be like a cool guy, or nobody really took it that serious. But I just want to bring back the intensity. It's one of the reasons why I went back to training. Besides the promo that Kai's cut on me, all truths in that promo. But yeah, that's why I went back and I'm training the young guys, and it's been fun. And I see a difference, and I've only been there, what, this is my 4th week back. So that's what I would hope to bring back.
Gotcha. So we're getting toward the end of things now. So do you have any upcoming shows or anything at all that you'd like to give some hype to?
Yes, I have Raxos Entertainment Productions this Friday. It's going to be April 10th here in Laredo, Texas. And then I will be, it's kind of a surprise, right, brother? So I'm just going to invite you to the show. It'll be United 210 on the 12th. I was invited to that one. So that one in San Antonio, Texas. So those are the upcoming for this week.
Gotcha. So as far as what we've got coming up on the Throwdown, a week from this Friday, April 17th, 7 p.m. Eastern, we've got episode 215, and our guest is a wrestler based in the great state of Florida, the Devilish Kid Donovan Rose. And then Monday, April 20th, 7 p.m. Eastern, we've got episode 216, and our guest is a West Virginia-based wrestler, Squeaky Clean Casey King. And we're actually booked up until at this point I'm booked up pretty much through May. So we've got a lot of stuff coming up. And so definitely be keeping an eye on my socials because I announce these things about a week out. And we've definitely got some exciting stuff coming up. So before we wrap all of this up, do you have any final words?
I mean, anybody that's watching this that wants to pursue wrestling, do it, diet, and have fun. Don't forget to have fun. It's intense, it's tough, but hey, I believe it's worth it.
Gotcha. By the way, Caius says he's taking your title on Friday.
How?
I don't
How
know.
is he gonna do? He's not even in the match. I'm fighting Dempsey. But
I
let's
don't
give us
know.
that rumble for the golden chair. I've beaten him twice for that, so everybody knows. Twice already.
I don't know, man. That they are really going to town in the chat room. It is high entertainment over there. Um, that's a good
Cool.
bunch, though, man. Uh, love Caius, love Jonathan, man. Being from Texas myself originally, I've got a soft spot in my heart for Texas wrestling, and man, that there is some good stuff. You guys really have something special going on out in that state. I think
Absolutely.
you
You can
know
go.
that.
Yeah, you can go anywhere you want. Like, let's say if you want a vacation somewhere, El Paso or Dallas, you're gonna find a show, and it's gonna be top tier talent. It's not gonna be a waste of time. So you're absolutely correct.
Right, right. Well, for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this on replays and such on the web, thank you for that. If you like what we've got going here, definitely do the old like, comment, share, and subscribe. And really, until April 17th, with the devilish kid Donovan Rose, be good to each other, love each other,